everyone. I'm Ketaki Desai. I'm the Director of Strategy for UPMC Enterprises. Enterprises is the investment arm of UPMC hospitals. And what we do is we invest in businesses that are in the life sciences field. We also build companies on our own from research that is done at the University of Pittsburgh. When I was 7 or 8, my uncle started a PhD program. And that was the first time when I heard of a PhD, and I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to go get a PhD. So my limit of what I wanted to do in life was getting a PhD. So I'm a mechanical engineer that came to the United States for graduate school, ended up getting a PhD in life sciences. It just wasn't me. And so I remember having gone to a leadership series, and several of the speakers that were super inspiring were all graduates of the Heinz College at CMU. I didn't even know what public policy was. There is no concept of like a public policy degree in India, which is where I'm from. And so I was like, wait, what is this? So I went there, I spoke to them, I told them what my background was, and I actually got in with a scholarship. I went into public management, public policy, started my first company when I was at CMU, failed miserably, so then was in 2 other startups, which also failed miserably, and got invited to then run a startup incubator as the executive director. So that really changed my life because, I felt like everything I had done until that point actually made sense when I was running an organization. I had no experience running an organization. I'd worked in so many startups that I had all these stories to tell on like what to do, what not to do. It wasn't someone else's story, it was my story. Growing up in India was very challenging. My dad kept losing his job. He had an alcohol problem, so it was addiction. My brother died in an accident. And, we were at a place where we were like below the poverty level in India. My parents were like always very, very supportive. And so on one side, all of this is happening. I was still very close to my dad, even though, he had his issues. And he taught me a lot of things. The biggest thing was question everything. And sometimes you have to ask the questions to yourself. If you have, your teachers or your parents are not able to answer them, go find out the answers on your own, right? Don't get dejected. Sometimes people just don't have the answers for you. Be curious. I love the fact that I did a PhD, right? So many people are like, well, you didn't continue in life sciences after your PhD, like you must feel horrible. I'm like, no. I changed as a person over the course of my PhD. I always wanted a PhD. I learned so many life skills. So it wasn't like I lost 5.5 years of my life. I gained so much. And then I was like, hey, let's learn something new. Failure is 100% the biggest driver of change in my life. I really embrace failure. I always go looking for failure. I look for what pushes me outside of my comfort zone, knowing fully well that I'm not going to succeed. I mean, every failure was a learning lesson because the next time I did it, it was like, wait, I now know something different from, what I didn't know before. You're gonna go and like be in your bed for like a whole day and you cry it out and you breathe and you're like, I want to eat a tub of ice cream. Figure out what gets you through the day. Don't fast forward the grieving phase. Get through the day, and then the next morning wake up and be like, okay, what's next?